Yo, what's up, guys? It's Ryan. As usual, I just woke up and I've only got a little bit before I have to leave for school. So let's jump right into it. Today, we're going to be talking about essentially how jazzy people seem to just pick random chords and it sound good, and what that's all about. So, the the real fancy term for this is modal interchange. And I'm not an expert by any means, but I know the basics well enough to introduce the concept. So, if we are in C major, that's a little loud. If we're in C major, I have a chord progression. That's just something like. So it's the 1, 6, 4, 5. So all of these chords are what's called diatonic because it's all within C major, or all in the white keys in this case. So what jazz people will do is they'll borrow from parallel modes, which is why it's called modal interchange. They'll borrow from parallel modes and just kind of throw different chords in there. So what's a parallel mode? A parallel mode is basically a scale with the same home pitch. So our home pitch for C major is C. So if a parallel mode, for example, would be C major, or C, does C major, C minor, C Lydian, and so on. I don't know the proper terminology for every single one of them, but like C Lydian is G major starting on the C, and C minor is obviously E flat major starting on the C. So if we just borrow a chord from C minor real fast and just like put it in here as like a transition, like if we borrowed the D diminished 7 flat 5 from C minor over here, so you'd have something like that. And obviously, it just takes a while to find what you like, but you can just like mess around with it. Like this is an F right here. If you just actually took the F from C minor, that's something interesting. And like I mentioned a little bit ago, C Lydian is also an option. So we have the entire G sharp or G major scale to play with as well. So this is going to the A right after that. But what if we bounce from the G major 7 back to the A? Now all of a sudden it's becoming like a little jazzier. Like you can feel that this isn't diatonic in almost like any way, or it's not strictly diatonic in any way. It's got more than just like the tritone and the flat 6. Yeah. So you can do this with basically in any scale that has a C natural in it. You can do this with, because if it's got the C natural, then a mode of that scale exists where C is the home pitch. I want to make sure I'm actually recording real fast. Thank God, because I don't have time to do this again. But for another example, A flat major, F minor, you can take the 5 from there, and if we wanted to transition it, have it as a transition chord at the very end, because it's a minor version of the major chord. So this would probably be better, like right from a songwriting perspective, like that. Maybe like inverted or something. G. It'd probably be better like that. So yeah, that's modal interchange in a super basic sense. It takes a lot of practice to decide what chord is gonna fit exactly what kind of like feeling you want. It takes a lot of practice. I'm not great at it from like a pen and paper perspective, but like guitar, I've been doing long enough that I kind of just know how it feels. So you just got to practice enough to know where what chord sounds like what. Because in this little 4-bar progression, we borrowed from 3 different chord progression, or 3 different scales. So we have essentially 4 scales and 4 measures, and that there's nothing jazzier than switching keys every 2 beats. So yeah, that's a modal interchange in its most basic sense. If you got any questions about anything, let me know and I'll be more than happy to try and answer them at least. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Hope you learned something, most importantly. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.